And welcome back, everyone, to its Last Call. Last Call with the alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel. Joining me here on the line, this man will be fighting once again. It will be April 9th, and as his brother's also on the card with the headline of Michaela Meyer versus Jennifer Hahn at the Hangar at the Orange County Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. He's looking to get back into winning ways. He's looking to get his title. Well, he wants a rematch with a man that almost everybody else is afraid of, Monster Inoue. I give you once again the pride and joy of Australia. I give you it's Jason Moloney. So Jason, so it's you, Francisco Pedroza. What's the game plan here? I mean, only you're planning to win. That's always the goal. But what are some things that you and your team want to see you improve on from, let's say, your previous fight?
I feel like I'm an ever improving fighter. I feel like each day I'm sort of, getting better and better and developing as a fighter. So I'm just looking forward to getting back in the ring. And unfortunately, I only had the one fight last year. So I haven't been in the ring for 7 months now. So really looking forward to getting back in there, putting on a really great performance and showing that I am, the real deal and ready for a world title shot. I'm hoping that my next fight after this will be a world title eliminator, which has been in the works for a while now. So I've got to make sure I go out there and put on a very impressive performance and most importantly, get my hand raised and keep moving on to bigger and better things.
So looking at this guy here, and it's weird when he's lost by knockout early in his career. Since he's moved up, he's lost to guys who are very good. Marcus Bates, Gary Antonio Russell, no shame in that. Victoria Sandoval, no shame either. But he also goes with distance. So when you have a guy like that who's just that tough, SOB who comes in there, wants to make it a fight, he has no problem making it a rough fight.
Yeah.
How big is it not letting him just make you, that sort of a, trench warfare? Next thing you know, you're just, banging away at each other's ribs, and you can feel him maybe stealing a round or two here.
Yeah, this is a very durable guy. He's only been stopped twice in his career. He's coming off 4 straight wins and 3 by stoppage. So he's in good form. And I know that he'll see this as a massive opportunity for himself to come and, take my world ratings. I'm rated number 2 in the WBC and I'm rated very well across the board in all the sanctioning bodies. So this is a massive opportunity for me, for him. And for me, I can't let this guy take everything I've worked for, and I can't overlook him. I can't take him lightly. I'm expecting a really tough fight. And it's, a great warm up to get me back in action and to put on a good, impressive performance before I start taking on some of the bigger fights.
You said before, and we're going to go back to this fight in a bit, how tough has the last 7 months been? Because I'm guessing after the Inoue fight, you're like, okay, give me 3 months off, and I'll be back. Give me 4 months, and I'll be literally in the ring for a fight. And unfortunately, due to whether it was things out of your control, like all these unification fights, guys who are fighting, in other places, and all of a sudden, they're now had their mandatories tied up. How tough has it been for you just waiting for 7 months to get somebody in the ring?
Yeah, it's been tough because I'm a fighter that's in the gym all year round. I had a very short break after the Inoue fight just to let the body heal up, but then I was back in the gym working hard and wanting to get the ball rolling again. There's been a lot of factors that have kept me out of the ring. It's not due to me. As I said, I'm training all year round and I want to fight. I'd love to fight 4 to 5 times a year if it was up to me. But unfortunately, sometimes this is, it comes with boxing. You got to be patient sometimes. I was lucky enough to get a good fight and a good win against Will Greer last year. But then since then, we've been working on putting world title eliminators together, and some of those bigger fights can take a while to materialize. And it's taken a while, but I'm just happy. I'm a week away from being back in action, and then hopefully have a really busy and active year for the rest of 2022.
How tough is it explaining sometimes to fans at home and the people like the boxing politics, because they're going, oh yeah, hey, we'd love to see you against Gary Antonio Russell. Well, so would I, but unfortunately our promoters can't, do business and we're on different networks, so that won't happen here probably. Or hey, I'd love to see you fight, New Daenerys. Hey, I would love to see that also, but unfortunately, network issues. I mean, for fans in Australia who love boxing, they probably come up and go, hey, we'd love to see you against Daenerys or Emmanuel Rodriguez, Gary Antonio Russell, or even John Riel Camero, who's right now going through legal issues. That's a whole different story. How tough is it to explain to them? Yeah, I can't because of this. And you're going, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's frustrating that some of these big fights can be hard to make. I try not to let that worry me too much or focus too much on that. I just hope that these fights can be made. It seems like slowly some of these, fights that seem difficult to make because of networks and things like that are starting to happen. So these paths can be crossed, and it's not so much, you're on that side of the pond, I'm on that side of the pond sort of thing anymore. But, like you see so much these days, people saying, fighters these days aren't active. They only fight, once or twice a year and blame it on the fighters. But it's not always the fighter's fault. As I said, I'd love to fight 4 to 5 times a year, but last year I could only have the one fight. But it's, unfortunately, you just have to be patient, stay focused, keep working and keep improving. And rather than sitting back and, sort of sulking, I only had one fight last year, I just kept working, made sure that I keep getting better and better and better. And hopefully people will see with this coming fight that I am a much improved fighter and continuing to get better, and shows how disciplined I am to the sport.
So you're fighting on April 9th.
Yep.
On June 7th, Nodino Daenerys will be fighting Monster Inoue at the Super Arena in Saitama, Japan. I know we're putting a horse before the cart, as they say, and I'm guilty like every other boxing writer and enthusiast here. Have you talked with your team about, hey, you know what? I want to be ringside for that fight so that I can then go in there and ask for a rematch against Daenerys or demand a rematch? I mean, I know you don't like, being one of those guys who toots his horn, but is there a plan to, put in motion on June 7th of, hey, Nonino, if you haven't beat me yet, or hey, Monster, we got unfinished business here. I mean, is there a plan on June 7th to be there and make sure, okay, hey, I'm here, gentlemen. I want winner.
Yeah, I did. I did speak to my manager Tony Tolge about going over to Japan to watch the fight live. And yeah, I got a lot of respect for both of those guys, but I would absolutely love to fight both of them, or either one of them. They're both definitely the two biggest fights for me in the division, and two guys that love to fight. But all going to plan, I plan on fighting in Australia on June the 5th. And logistically, I don't think I'd be able to possibly make it over to Japan with the distance to travel and everything like that to make it over there in 2 days and be ringside.
Private jet. There's got to be somebody in Australia who has a private jet. Just go, hey, I'll post on Instagram, if you're hanging out with a celebrity here, private jet. Next thing you know, all of a sudden there's some actor like, hey, yeah, we'll do this year. We'll go to Japan. Hey, there's going to be something there. Private jet. I'm telling you, it's the way to go.
If you can tee that up, I'll be there in a heartbeat. But yeah, would absolutely love to be there ringside. I think it'd be a great fight for one, but I would absolutely love to go to Japan as well. And yeah, of course, I would love to fight, either one of Inoue or Donaire. That's the fight that I'm after, and that's what I'm coming for. So I'm hoping to have a world title eliminator on the 5th of June, all going to plan, and hopefully that'll put me in a mandatory position for the winner. So yes, I hope that fight comes off, and that's certainly what I'm aiming for.
Take me back to your last fight. Joshua Greer. What went right? Did anything go wrong? And how nice was it having that win? So it's like, okay, that bad taste of Inoue is out of my mouth. I'm now, it was a win, and I'm back in the thing, especially against a guy who is tough as nails, rare, almost never loses, has had wins over several high-ranking fighters at the time in Nikolai Potapov, Antonio Nieves, Giovanni Escanar. How nice is it getting that win and winning impressively?
Yeah, that was great. It was great. After the Inoue loss, obviously I could have just come back and look for, a soft opponent or, an easy win. But that's not what I'm about. I want to be involved in the big fights, and I want to be, put myself back in the mix for world title contention. So we took on Joshua Greer, who was obviously rated very well in the world ratings, and was very happy to get the win, and that's put me right back in the mix. So back up at number 2 with the WBC. So that obviously fast tracked my way back to a world title fight, which was exactly what we wanted. It wasn't, looking back, I wasn't overly happy with my performance. I think I could have done a lot better. But as you said, Greer's, he's a good fighter, tough as nails, and he certainly knew there was a lot on the line and came to win. So it was a tough fight, and I was happy to walk away with the win. But there's certainly a lot more that I can show in this coming fight that to show how good of a fighter I've become.
Take me to the fight. Like, I know and I know it's tough because Inoue is just massively talented, but in the Greer fight, like, what did you feel that you were able to do that you couldn't do the last fight? Like, what were some of the things you look back and go, okay, this worked, this is what I was better at compared to the Inoue fight?
Oh, look, I knew he's, an exceptional fighter, and he wasn't really allowing me as much to do the things I wanted to do. But I also feel like I probably got the tactics a bit wrong against Inoue, and I thought I'd have a lot more success out long and outboxing Inoue. But looking back, it was probably, I probably should have made the, adapted quicker and switched it up when that wasn't working. I should have probably changed game plan and put the pressure on him a bit more. But it's easy to look back in hindsight and say should have, could have, would have. But as I said, I feel like I've improved a lot since the Inoue fight. I think I showed glimpses of my improvement in the Greer fight, but again, wasn't the best performance. And I feel like I've got a lot more to prove and a lot more to show. And hopefully you'll see a really great performance next weekend. And it will set me up for some of the bigger fights where I can show, a lot more of my class.
I know you talk about improvements. I know you're critical of this fight. How tough is it, though, when you have an American fighter like that who he knows how to hold, he knows how to make it look like he's busy, and even when you guys are tied up, he's leaning in on you. He's trying to sap away his strength. He's at times just coming in, no jab, a high guard, sort of bullying his way in and then trying to catch you on the way out with counters. Like, when you have a guy like that, how tough is it just getting that momentum when he's constantly just going up, stop, start, stop, go, and you can never really just get on your foot and just use a jab because he's burling in there just like a running back, right in American football.
Yeah, that's right. It was a little bit, stop starty, a lot of smothering, a lot of clinches, a bit of a messy fight through stages. So that's where I wasn't too impressed looking back. I felt like I had some good rounds, probably round 4, round 5. And if I had really stepped on the gas, I probably could have taken him out and made a lot more of an impressive win. But it got a bit scrappy and a bit messy. And then I ended up, sort of cruising to a bit more of an easier win. But it wasn't the impressive performance that I was after. So I'm always critical of myself, always wanted to do my best and show my best performances. I'm always critical, but look, I walked away with a win against a very good fighter in Greer, and as I said, it put me right back up the world ratings, which is where I want to be, and it's opened the doors for some big fights coming up this year. So all's well that ends well, but I just want to always put my best foot forward and show all the hard work I put in the gym. I want to make sure that shows on fight night.
So, all right. I know you're hard on yourself here. Do you give yourself a break, though, with Inoue in terms of his next fight out there? He went out, looked bored, and he took out a guy in 3 rounds. And then the fight after that, he looked very bored again. Like, almost like he was like, okay, is this like, do my tax while do this here? Why are you here, Mr. Aaron? I can't even pronounce your last name. He knocks his ass out in the 8th round. I mean, I know you get critical. Do you ever vote with a guy like that who, and I hate using the word, but he's near perfect? Do you take solace in the fact of, hey, I gave him a tough time. I actually won a round or 2 against Inoue here. with a guy who you might argue is the best pound for pound fighter. I mean, everybody else tried, and usually it's either been highlight reel knockout, or maybe he has a semi, tough fight against Donaire. But he still won that fight either by 4 rounds or 8 rounds. Doesn't matter. He's just mowing people down like it's cutting the grass.
Yeah. Look, I respect myself, obviously, for taking that fight. And as you said, it's a fight that a lot of people would avoid. So yeah, I give myself a pat on the back for always taking the toughest fights and stepping in there and putting it all on the line. But yeah, I wasn't extremely happy with that performance. I know that I could have done a lot better. There was other factors which, going into the fight, which weren't going my way, which I won't go into because I don't make excuses. But I know I can perform a lot better. And that's why, people might think I'm crazy saying I want to fight him again, but that's why I want to fight him again, because I know I could do a lot better. And I still believe it's a fight that I can win, even though you said, he's near perfect and he is one of the pound for pound best in the world. No doubt about that.
Look, I'm not saying that. You saw before he took on you, and it's like, oh, yes, Jay McDonald. Yes, you think you're worthy. Nope, first round knockout. See you later, buddy. Go have a nice ice cream. Juan Carlos Payano. Oh, you think you're worthy? Nope, first round knockout. Here, have an ice cream. Emmanuel Rodriguez, he starts brawling. And then he just embarrasses him, like, okay, so I'm going to put you in a poster here. No, three times I'm going to drop you in the second round. Have fun. Go have your little ice cream. You at least didn't get humiliated. I mean, he's humiliated other fighters where it's like, okay, you just need to retire. Go somewhere else. Get a beard. Find Grizzly Adams. Just stay away. You got humiliated. At least with him, it's like, okay, you went in there. You made a competitive fight. He just, beat you like he does almost everybody else on this planet.
Yeah, that's right. He's certainly didn't feel out of place in there, and I do believe that I can mix it with him and anyone in the division. So yeah, of course, that does give you confidence moving forward. But as I said, I just know that I can do a lot better than what I showed against him the first time round, and that's what drives me to keep getting better, and that's what makes me want that fight again, is because I know that I can do a lot better, and hopefully one day I'll get the chance to prove that. But if not, my sole focus is just on getting my hand on that world title and showing that I am, one of the best in the division, and being amongst those big fights.
How tough is this for you, just sometimes emotionally, doing all this? Because your last 3 fights, Nevada, Oklahoma, those are long camps. I know that you have your own significant other, or your own either it's fiance, wife, soulmate. You got to spend time away from her for several camps because you got to fly over to the United States. You can't spend time with your nephew because, hey, you got to fly over here to the United States, be in camp. I mean, how tough is it sometimes doing all this, chasing this dream? And for you, it's, okay, I want to fight, and yes, I got to leave now home for sometimes 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, it's extremely tough. And, we've had to make a lot of sacrifices. As you touched on, a lot of time away from home. And I've got 2 young daughters back home, which I have to spend a lot of time away from sometimes, which is very, very tough. My oldest daughter is 3 years old and my youngest is only 6 months old. So being away from both of them at the moment is very tough. But these are the sacrifices I have to make to achieve my dreams. And, some people say they want it bad and some people show that they want it bad. And I've made a lot of sacrifices to achieve my dreams. And that's what's going to make it all worthwhile when I do have that world title around my waist, because I know how hard I've worked for this and everything I've given to be in this position. And that's why I train so hard. And that's why next Saturday night, nothing will stop me from having my hand raised, because I've put a lot into this and I can't let anyone down. I've got to go out there and get the job done and keep progressing and making sure that I do achieve the dreams that I've set out to achieve.
Now, I got to ask, because I know it's happened with your brother and his kid. Has your daughter, has she gone to the gym and has she started picking up stuff from you? Because I'm guessing there's probably been a call from you, like school going, yeah, Jason, we got to talk. Your daughter's throwing haymakers now at the lunch lady. I know it's all fun and games till, she starts throwing body blows to the art teacher. And yeah, we have no art teacher now because she just hit him with a kidney punch. Has she started getting into it, start throwing punches to her? Is she like going, okay, Daddy, I don't know what you're doing, but I want to fight?
No, I've been pretty lucky. As you said, my nephew Lee, he's a little weapon and he throws them pretty well already. But my little girl Isla, I sort of keep her away from the gym, and she hasn't shown too much interest in boxing so far. So yeah, I'm certainly not going to push her in that direction. She can do whatever she wants to do, but she hasn't really taken to boxing much, and I'm pretty happy to keep it that way. So yeah, she hasn't been hitting anyone or throwing too many punches, and hopefully it stays that way.
And how is the wife? I'm guessing the wife's probably going, okay, look, you got to come home soon because damn it, we have a 6-month-old. That 6-month-old is as own little time zone in terms of waking up and sleeping. Sometimes it's 3 hours, sometimes 6 hours, sometimes like 30 minutes. And Jason, you got to do something here. His kid just decides to sleep whenever it feels like. And well, we don't know how 6 months old are toddlers. They decide they wake up. Oh, we're letting everybody know you got to wake up. If I'm up, you all are up.
Yeah, it's very tough. My fiance Georgia, who's back at home with both my girls at the moment, and as you just hit the nail on the head, it's our 6-month-old keeping her awake at the moment, and she's not getting a whole lot of sleep, and she's obviously on her own without any help. So it is very hard, and I'm very grateful just to have such a supportive partner who will take that burden and let me go on the other side of the world and chase the dreams of becoming world champion. As you said, it is, it's very tough, on big sacrifice for me to make, but it's also a big sacrifice and it's hard work for her. So that's why, I'm very blessed to have such a supportive partner who's with me all the way and supports me 100%.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, he'll be fighting April 9th. It's going to be all the way in ESPN. Check our local listings. I give you, once again, the pride and joy of Australia. I give you, it's Jason Moloney. Jason, before I let you go, where can fans check you out at? Where is, the Twitter page, Instagram, the website? Where can fans contact you at?
Instagram at Jason Moloney, Twitter at Jason Moloney1, and the website is teammoloney.com. So yes, follow the journey. I appreciate everyone who supports me and follows what I do. So yeah, get on board.
Jason Moloney, ladies and gentlemen, once again fighting Saturday, April 9th at the hangar at the Orange County Fair and Event Center in Costas Mesa, California. We're looking forward to seeing him in action. Stay tuned for more great action coming up only on It Is Last Call. Last Call to the Alcohol only on the Last Call YouTube channel.